The last transformation that we're going to take a look at is technically called I just playfully call it a flip through the x-axis. So that's essentially what we're basically doing here. And again, this is a transformation. Forgot to write this here. It's a transformation of outputs. All right, y. And in this case, y is equal to x squared. And so to cut to the chase, here's our basic function, right? Y equals x squared. That's the one we've been transforming now. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take the x squared and multiply it, if you would, by a -1, all right? Or just put a negative in front. We're taking the opposite of x squared. So what this is going to do is take all my y values and create their opposite. So again, let's go ahead and just do the ground and pound. If I put a -2 in this, we get the opposite of -2 squared. Well, -2 squared is 4, and we're going to take its opposite. So we have -4. If we take the opposite of -1 squared, we have -1, which is -1. And if we put a 0 in there, right, the opposite of 0 is still 0. If we put a 1 in there, we get -1. And if we put a 2 in there, we get -4. So there's basically what happens when we point plot it. Let's take a look at it and then compare it to our original graph that sits over here. So we have -2, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got -1, 1. We've got 0, 0, +1, -1, and then +2, -4. So here's our new parabola now, and we now see that that parabola is actually opening downwards. Now the vertex is still at 0, 0, but what used to be a low point is now a high point. And the original graph, let me kind of put it in a dashed figure right here. Here's the original, here's what x squared looks like. So you can see what essentially happened is we took this graph and we basically flipped it on its head. So it's now going in a downward direction, which impacts range and all that other good stuff. So, and bigger picture here, you know, if we were to take something like starting to put this together, if I asked you guys to graph, say, something like -3x squared, well, I have two things going on here, right? That minus sign now tells me that we're going downwards, right? So we're a parabola that's opening downwards. And then this 3 right there is telling us that we're stretching it. So if I was just to do a quick sketch of this, I'd go to my grid, right? 0, 0 would be the vertex still. But I would basically just draw a parabola that's elongated going down. Of course, if I wanted more accuracy, I do the point plotting and find out the points and, you know, very nice accurate. But if I'm just trying to do a quick sketch, there's what my quick sketch of -3x squared would look like. The negative tells me we're pointing downwards, and the 3 says we're stretching it out, making it a little skinnier. And so you can start seeing how we're going to put all these transformations together. So we can basically take this basic graph and shift it left or right. We can shift it up or down, we can stretch it or compress it, and we can flip it. And so now we got to put it together so we can finally start graphing parabolas.